Hi, I'm Yunus. Welcome to episode 9 of the Productman podcast. We have been talking about technical topics for weeks: discovery, roadmap, metrics. But let's admit it, the thing that made you think the most when you woke up this morning wasn't retention rate. You probably had these questions in mind. Is my salary enough? Do I have a future in this company? Why hasn't that job I applied for called me back yet? Today we are moving to the other side of the table. We are leaving the products aside. The topic is career interviews and that famous case study ordeal. Look, my friend, you are a product manager. You manage products. But there is one thing you forget. The most important product you need to manage is you. Today, I will tell you how I manage my career like a product. Your CV is your landing page, the interview is your demo day, and the case study is your MVP. In this episode, I will explain how my phone wouldn't stop ringing once I turned my CV from a task list into a success story using Google's CV formula. How a company made me do free consulting and then disappeared all, and why I put them on my blacklist. And using Airbnb's interview technique, we will discuss how to choose the right company. Loosen your tie. This is not an interview. This is a heart to heart. Let's start. Transition sound. Let's start with the CV. First, that is your landing page. When you enter a website, how many seconds does it have to catch your attention? 3 seconds, maybe 5. This is exactly how long a recruiter looks at your CV, average 6 seconds. If your CV is boring, the bounce rate hits the ceiling and you get eliminated. Let me tell you the biggest mistake I made early in my career. In the experience section of my CV, I was writing things like I used Jira, I did sprint planning, I held meetings with developers, I wrote PRD documents. The result? Silence. I was applying to hundreds of places. The return rate was almost zero. Why? Because I was writing output. I was explaining what I did. But the employer doesn't care about what you did, they care about what you achieved. Everyone uses Jira. What makes you different? Then one day I read an article by Laszlo Bock, Google's former VP of People Operations, and I had an epiphany. Laszlo Bock says, most CVs are like job descriptions. Don't write job descriptions, write impact. And I completely changed my CV. I used Jira. Instead, I wrote, I optimized sprint processes and increased delivery speed by 20%. I deleted, I held meetings. Instead, I wrote, I managed feature X and increased revenue by 10% thanks to it. I deleted the output, I wrote the outcome, and would you believe it? My phone started ringing. Headhunters started reaching out to me directly because I no longer looked like an ordinary employee, but like a professional who creates value. Google's XYZ formula here is Google's official formula for you to apply immediately. It's called the XYZ formula. The formula is accomplished X as measured by Y by doing Z's. Bad example, organized a hackathon, ordinary. Good example, organized a hackathon for 50 people. A bit better. Google style. Example, organized a hackathon for 50 people to increase internal innovation. X, 2 projects from this event went live, EY, and $100,000 in annual savings were achieved, Z. Go home tonight, open your CV, and ask yourself, does it say I did here or does it say I achieved? Let's come to the most painful, most annoying part of the job, the case study. They invited you to the interview, everything is great. Then they said, we will send you a case, you have 48 hours. I have a memory that I still get angry when I remember. I am interviewing with a company. Do you know what they sent me as a case? Not an imaginary problem, a real and huge problem the company was experiencing at that moment. They literally asked me for the entire roadmap and strategy of a branch of the company. I was excited back then. I said, I will do it all. Let me prove myself. I worked for days. I did market analysis, examined competitors, drew screen designs, created a 6-month plan. I literally gave the guys free consulting and I submitted it. What was the result? A short email. Negative. I asked why. Can you give feedback? What did I do wrong? The answer, due to company policy, we cannot give feedback at this stage. I cannot describe my anger at that moment. They took my idea, they took my effort, and they slammed the door in my face. That company is currently on my blacklist. I will never use their products. I will never recommend them to anyone. Airbnb and the right approach. So, how do good companies do this? Airbnb founder Brian Chesky, when hiring his first designers, didn't tell them, solve our current booking problem. He asked them to draw a storyboard on the theme, what is the perfect vacation experience? Why? Because Brian Chesky wasn't looking for a free solution. He wanted to see how the candidate thinks. Do they focus on the process or the result? Are they creative or analytical? If a company asks you to solve a real problem down to the last detail, stop there. This is not ethical. My advice is, if such a request comes, apply the time box tactic. You can say, I spent 4 hours on this case. This is my strategic approach. We can discuss the details in the interview. Protect your effort. Don't let them exploit you. And the final stage, the final interview, you are facing HR or the hiring manager, and they ask that classic trap question. Tell me about your biggest failure or weakness. This is very slippery ground. If you say, my weakness is that I am too much of a perfectionist, don't do it. Everyone knows this trick. Nobody buys it. It looks repulsive. If you say, I am very lazy, it's over. You are eliminated. Throughout my career, I have seen that extreme honesty does not always win. Being political but sincere is best. My tactic is this, the STAR technique. Situation, task, action, result. I describe a real weakness, but immediately after, I add how I manage it. For example, I used to have trouble with delegation. I wanted to do every job myself, and this slowed me down, weakness. But I realized this. Now I trust my team more and I use the Eisenhower matrix to divide tasks. I am still working on it, but I have come a long way. Growth. This answer tells the other side. 1. This guy has high awareness. 2. He is open to improvement, growth mindset. 3. He can solve problems. Reverse interview, and let me give you a bonus tactic. At the end of the interview, when they ask, do you have any questions for us? Never say, no thanks. This means I have no curiosity about this job. Leaders like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos love candidates who ask questions. Ask this, what is the biggest obstacle facing the product team right now? What is the company's North Star metric? These questions elevate you from job seeker status to consultant partner status. Let's wrap up, my friend. The job search process is a product management process. You are a product and you are looking for your market. 1. CV, landing page. As Laszlo Bock said, write outcome, not output. Use the XYZ formula. 2. Case study, MVP. Don't do free consulting for anyone. Find companies that focus on the process like Brian Chesky, blacklist the others. 3. Interview, demo. Drop the perfectionist lie, present your weakness with your development plan, and ask them hard questions too. Remember, rejection is not a bug, it is a feature. Every rejection brings you one step closer to the right company. I am here right now doing Productman because I was rejected by that blacklisted company. I am Yunus. Thank you for talking about the career journey in the 9th episode of Productman. In the next episode, we will dive into the topic we are all curious about, maybe even a little scared of: artificial intelligence and the future of product management. Will AI leave us unemployed or will it give us superpowers? What will the PM of the future look like? We will talk about these. If this episode was useful, please don't forget to follow and like. See you. Good luck.